Hello everyone, how are you today? I'm in the cathedral, but I'm not in the kids area. I'm in the corner where we usually make morning tea. And we're going to have a look in one of the cupboards. And we're going to look in the cupboard that's right near the corner. And it's a cupboard that's got special signs on it. It's got a fire extinguisher sign, and it tells us what sort of fire extinguisher it is. And then it says first aid, and that's because the first aid box is in this cupboard. And we're going to have a look at the first aid box. So I'm going to open the cupboard, and when we look inside we can see there's lots of bits and things and bobs in the cupboard, but down on the bottom with the flower vases we've got the fire extinguisher. And we've got this white cupboard, which is the first aid box. And I'm going to take the first aid box out of the cupboard so we can look at it. So it's quite a big first aid box. And that's because we have a lot of people in the cathedral at times. So I've laid our first aid box down on the floor, and I'm going to open it up. On the outside, we've got the important numbers to ring if we need the ambulance or the fire brigade, and numbers like that so people know. When we look inside our first aid box, we can see we've got lots of things. So we're going to have a look at some of the things we've got in the box. We've got lots of bandages. We've got really big bandages there, and we've got some really tiny ones there. And here we've got an ice pack. It's one of the instant gel ones that you don't need to keep in the fridge, and you can squeeze and snap and it becomes cold straight away. And then with the gel pack we've got a triangular bandage. This is a sling. Somebody's hurt their arm, we can use it to hold their arm still so it doesn't hurt as much. Then we've got some gauze dressings, and we've got one really big gauze dressings. I hope nobody ever needs that in the cathedral. And in here we've got a box of band-aids. And do you know what? We use band-aids more than anything else. We've got the little ones there, and we've got some more dressings, and then we've got some salty water that's used to wash eyes if they've got something in, or to wash little cuts that are dirty, to get the dirt out. And down here we've got more bandage things. Look, we've got some forceps or tweezers for getting splinters out. You've got tweezers like this at home you could use to get a splinter out of your finger if you needed to. And we've got some cotton buds, and we've got some gloves in little packets so that we don't have to get blood or other things on our hands, which aren't very nice. And even more dressings in there. And we've got an antiseptic spray. So if you graze your knee, we can spray some antiseptic on it. So we've got all the things in here that we might need if somebody had an accident in the cathedral before the ambulance arrived. When you get sick or you hurt yourself, what do your mum and dad do? What do your nan or your pop or your auntie or uncle or whoever's looking after you do? Sometimes they have to call the ambulance if it's really serious. Do you know the number for the ambulance? That's right, it's 000. 000 is the number for the ambulance, and we can all use that in an emergency to get help. But often when we're sick or we hurt ourselves, we don't need the ambulance. But sometimes our mum or our dad or somebody will need to take us to the hospital, or take us to the doctor, or take us to the nurse. We've got lots of people here that will help us if we get sick or we have an accident. In the story we listened to today in the Gospel reading, Jesus was able to help people. Jesus was able to heal people and make them better just by them touching him or him touching them. That was an amazing thing to happen. And God still helps us get better, to feel better and to be better. Which is why we love God so much and God loves us. Because God's there. God helps the doctors and the nurses and the hospitals and the ambulance people make us get better. But God's there helping us get better too. I hope you don't need any of those people at the moment, but it's good to know that they're there when you do need them. So you stay safe and keep well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.